Hello there, my conscientious mortal soul. How are you feeling today? I'm feeling experimental, and I wanted to launch the first of many product reviews for items that might help us to get a better night's sleep. As you may or may not know, I began this VTuber account with the hope of promoting a healing journey to lend support to others out there who are living with various obstacles or challenges to healthy living, or simply being curious or preventative, with a side of entertainment to bond our time together. Product testing was always one of the original branches of episodes I hoped to produce, and were intended to be created, especially when it involves getting a better night's sleep. I know insomnia is something that I've been challenged with over the years, and it really takes a toll on our overall health and productivity, and even our quality time with the people we love most. Now, this is my very first public critique of a purchasable item, so please go easy on me, but I will work with any constructive criticism. If you feel there's something I failed to speak to, you'd like to know more about the products that I'm critiquing, then let me know and I will work with that information. Now, it took a little time to collect some of the modern products on the market right now, so I'm going to start introducing them in the hopes that it will give you new ideas, help in making budgeted purchasing decisions, and just to get you help in general, because it's really painful and difficult when we can't establish a regular good night's sleep routine. Even if it's not in your budget to purchase these particular items right now, it might help you decide to put something on a wish list, or we'll even discuss alternatives we can do that don't cost anything using items around the house that can help you achieve the same goals. So with that in mind, what will be my first official product? It is a Shiatsu Foot Massager, and the specific brand is called the Belmint Press Escape. I put one of its photos into the episode screen clip in the thumbnail so that you can have a look at it. It's really compact, an easy color to blend with anything, and it was really lightweight for me to grip with one hand between the two foot slots and carry it around the room. But wait, what? Venus, why, if we need sleep, are you going to review a foot massager? I hear your question. And after months of struggling with insomnia, I used this machine for the first time today, and it worked. It worked for me, which surprised me. It honestly surprised me, and to my relief. So I'm going to tell you about it, in case it can work for you too. Now remember, I'm not a doctor. I'm just a regular person with real people health issues, stumbling along as we go forward and live our lives. But I do read, and I'm on a healing journey, and I want to share what I discover in the hopes that it may help you too. So, there happen to be many studied benefits to a foot massager before bedtime. And for example, it promotes relaxation. Many people have had the experience of trying to sleep with tense muscles or even just an overwhelming feeling of tension. The foot massager can help improve deeper sleep, and there are studies in a nursing journal that looked at foot reflexology and how it affected the sleep of study participants, and it showed to be very beneficial. For some of us out there, the foot massager has actually been shown in some studies to ease menopausal symptoms. Now, I'm not there yet, but some of you out there that are listening, maybe you can chime in on this in our message area. And they say that the foot massage, putting pressure on certain points in the feet, actually help to affect the nervous and endocrine system positively, which is what helps to relieve these symptoms. It's also said that the foot massage may decrease anxiety and levels of depression, which also help to settle and focus the mind so that you can enter a state of readiness to fall asleep. It's also been written that it could help relieve chronic pain, so whether lower back pain or menstrual cramps, by applying pressure to certain points of the feet. Again, one study showed that 3 40-minute sessions in a week could help reduce lower back pains, and other studies showed that The severity reduction of pain for menstrual cramps was even more effective than using an ibuprofen. So for those of you that are relying on pills or hope not to have to, this might be something to experiment with. Everyone is different, and I'm not a doctor. I'm just reading about these studies and sharing these ideas with you. If you don't have the budget for an electric foot massager, you can massage your own feet. Or, if you're lucky, there might be someone to help you do that. And some people try putting a tennis ball on the floor and gently pressing their feet over the top of the ball. And as you move your feet over the ball, it helps to relax and massage your feet for you without having to bend down or bend your knees up. But just in case, I was unexpectedly given this Belmint Press Escape Shiatsu Foot Massager, so I wanted to review it for you. The product is boxed with a convenient handle for portability. It's really easy to carry around. It's a pretty big box if you're a short person like me, but the weight's reasonable, and it's like walking around with a baby in your arms actually feels heavier than walking around with this box in your hand. And so it's easy to put in and out of your car and bring it into your house. It's pretty simple and stable packaging. I've always found it takes a minute to get the air between styrofoam mold and a box separated, but once it slips in and the whole thing slides out in one big block, you simply lift one side of the styrofoam off of the machine, and the complete machine is neatly tucked together inside the foot massager. With my small hands, I found it very easy to grip between the two footholds and carry around the unit to wherever I wanted to plug it into a wall. The two wires needed to plug the machine into the wall were neatly tucked into the footholds of the machine, and there is even a tiny remote control that comes with the machine so that you don't have to bend down to push the different buttons for settings and modes for the massager to work. But the buttons on that machine actually are a good size so that you can see from a distance, and you can also tap with your heel to change the settings if you wanted. Personally, I found the holes too close together to sit in a fully relaxed position when I slip my feet into the massage holes. I'm the type who tends to let knees fall outward, and I needed to find a chair that placed the knees and hips at an angle that was comfortable for having the feet inside the machine. I couldn't just slouch. My feet are a wide woman size 6, so it was easy to slip them inside the footholes and even move them forward and sideways. There's a lot of room in there. It's listed in the manual for this machine that it can hold up to a man size 12 foot. I personally have a lot of wiggle room to move my heels side to side, and the only thing I would say is that the hard plastic edges at the exterior of the machine have no give, so you really do have to sit with the knees properly aimed forward to not cut into the sides of the ankles. Now, it didn't cut my skin, but it was just uncomfortable to feel if I was sitting lazily, the sides of the machine digging into my ankles a little bit, so I just had to adjust the direction I placed my knees. It was super easy to turn on and to even pull a foot out to change settings along the machine's top. The buttons are large, they're lit up with different colors and symbols, and easy to tap. Also, if you have deep feet, like tall from the arch to the top, some pressure settings may push your feet to the roof of the machine, so just play around with the settings to find the most comfortable pressure level for you. Now, it does make noise while it runs, but I'm able to hear the TV or YouTube channel while I'm typing and running the foot massager. Perhaps it will work like white noise for you, and I think the benefits of the massage outweigh the agitation from noise, but I would recommend, if you have noise-canceling headphones or earplugs, to give those a try and just clear your brain. If you are using the massager as part of the getting ready to sleep routine, turning off the other technologies would be beneficial for you anyhow. As I'm writing this review, I'm finding that my body wants to naturally relax into its lazy position, and my knees and legs want to spread out. So that is tilting the outer edges of my ankles into the hard shell of the machine. Not so fun. And I'm finding strain on my lower back if I slouch. So for me, because of my tendencies with my body language, I found it better to sit more forward in my chair, but that also places my feet with more pressure down onto the massager's rollers, which is actually giving me a deeper massage. So I just need some upper body discipline for the optimal contact points between my feet and the machine rollers. As I explore the settings on this machine, you can set a timer with the remote control. And there is a mode that stops the machine and another mode that chooses to run short stroke movements with pauses in between, giving your feet rest. There is a setting that feels like your feet are being held around the balls of the feet and the arches are receiving the stroke motions. And I know a friend of mine with flat feet not find this a helpful setting because wearing heels or shoes with pre-built arches really do cause them pain in the center of their feet. So I'm worried that this setting might do the same. However, for me, who grew up in toe shoes, that's ballet, and high heels, I find this setting really helpful to work the aches out of the arches of my feet. Interestingly, because I have smaller feet, I have been able to be choosy about where my feet enter the footholes. When I put my inside edge of feet against the inner foothold wall, I can get a massage that places the pressure on the outer edge of my feet without doing much to the underside where the arches are. Perhaps by doing this, if you have narrower feet, it may be the soothing point of contact for those with the flatter foot. There are 5 levels of pressure to these massages, and level 5 definitely made me scared for the crush to my toes. And in level 4, I still feel a bit scared, though there's an automatic deflation that happens in the rhythm of the massaging tools. Level 3 for me is more tolerable and definitely makes the area just under the balls of my feet feel better. For me, it's even kind of ticklish. Who knew? And the toes feel okay. I'm thinking that level 3 gives me a deep enough attention to the underside of my arches and the balls of my feet. And I was surprised at the contact for the toes. I wasn't thinking about giving the toes any attention, so this was just a surprise for me that I noticed it. I've also learned that the machine does shut itself off after so many repetitions. This is an automatic default of about 15 minutes. I've also discovered you can change the levels of heat you experience during the treatment. I'm thinking this is an infrared heat, as I can see a yellow golden glow through the mesh between the feet and the rollers. Personally, I like things a little cooler, but I hear many people complain of cold feet at night, so I'm definitely feeling warm all over. This could be an advantageous setting for anyone who suffers from lower circulation or cold feet. So while I find level 1 perhaps too light for my taste, I'd actually hover between a level 2 and 3, but that's just me, and everybody's different. I would like to add a personal note of another kind. Since COVID shut down sporting teams and public pools, my body made a terrible and unhealthy set of changes, and exacerbated by unwanted weight gain. And since that time, a change I noticed was that when I must sit for periods of time, like for work or when I'm working on my videos, I tend to get a vein behind my thigh to go numb, and it's kind of painful, and the ankles will swell for lack of exercise and poor circulation. I can tell you that I've been sitting and using this foot massager for at least 10 to 15 minutes by now. I've just restarted it. And so far, my ankles are looking tapered and my thighs are not in pain, although I did have to shift my sitting position forward, so less of my thighs are pressing down into the chair in order to use the massagers with my feet. I can say that I'm feeling better, even a bit ticklish and a bit sleepy, but also more stimulated to get up and move around. I think I'm feeling ready to take a quick walk before heading to bed. To me, this is a really good sign and really good news. I think it might become part of my routine to use this foot massager. Right now the setting's at 0.9 and it's running itself down in its final countdown before the automated shutoff happens. So now I've discovered that I've relaxed into this process a little bit, and for my wide size 6 foot, the setting 0.9 feels the best. And the way it holds the feet around the balls of the feet and the toes is comfortable, but it works under the arches and the balls of the feet just below the toes, and that's working for me the most. I think this is where I carry my weight, in the front of my foot, so this is a setting that's working for me. But I'm also feeling really ticklish, which is probably why my ears are perked up and I feel like going for a walk, maybe even a jog. I think there's a lot of space for wider and longer feet in here, but I have the advantage of wiggling myself around to pick out the rollers and explore the sensations from the massagers. Finally, I found a setting where the settings themselves rotate from higher to lower levels, and it really gets around the whole foot. I think I would need to investigate the timing needed for optimal use of the machine, and I wouldn't want to burn out the motor either. But overall, I like the ease of the unwrap, the setup, and the use, the compactness of the machine. It's easy to move from place to place. It looks good. It feels good. The sound is like a white noise machine. You can still hear the environment around you while it's running. I would use this product again, and by the time I finish writing this review for an episode, I'll have tried it a few more times to see if my opinions change. That's all for the first time use of the Belmint Press Escape Shiatsu Foot Massager. For now, I give this Belmont Press Escape Shiatsu Foot Massager a 5 out of 5 with the caveat to the wide feet, wide knee sitter out there. Body discipline is needed. Do not press against the hard outer edge of the shell of the machine for your ankle's sake. So maybe a 4.9 out of 5? Does that mean? Thank you. I give this a 2 thumbs up. Now, after turning off the machine, it is one more thing that you must unplug. I can say that my feet hurt just a tiny bit. I'm very warm, but I am honestly ready for a walk, and I hope this means a good night's sleep. Side report, I did actually go for that walk, and my feet felt pretty comfortable. I then did lay down, and I did actually fall asleep after maybe 15-20 minutes, and I had a nap for a couple of hours. I woke up without those terrible night leg cramps that I sometimes get, and my ankles were not swollen. I'd say this is a good product, and I'll give it a try for the next week and report again if this is a bit of luck or if it seems to really be helping my health needs. So far, I'm really excited and motivated to trust in this product. On another side note, I do want to warn that the mesh or cloth inside the machine where you slip your foot in is not removable. You can't take it out and wash it, so I would recommend that you make sure your feet are clean or not sweaty, and maybe wear some socks before you put them inside the machine, just so that we don't contaminate the environment or transfer any foot owners, dirt, fungus, anything that could develop into an unhealthy environment for your feet. So, yeah, there's that. Oh, all that before even looking at the booklet that comes with the machine. I'm such a lazy reader since I finished school. This booklet that comes with the machine is really great to have because it has very large, easy to read print and all the ways to reach out for customer service. And the copywriter who wrote this actually is really funny, so it's kind of fun to read through about the machine. It's actually 12 pounds, and it definitely fits feet up to a men's size 12 foot. It does have the auto shut off after 15 minutes, 5 pressure settings, 3 modes of operation. The physical dimensions of this device are 17.7 inches by 15 inches by 18.1 inch. And you'll see that I took a picture of the Belmont Press Escape Shiatsu Foot Massager on my floor, and I've used that as a thumbnail so that you can see what I'm looking at. There is a hilarious stamp inside this instruction manual, and the motto is, on our watch, every time is meal clock. That's really fitting because I want everyone to remember to not feel guilty about taking time for self-care. We need to take care of ourselves. We won't be able to take care of anything else. So this booklet goes on to say that if you feel itching during or after the use, I guess that's kind of akin to my ticklish feeling. This itching is actually normal, they say, and is likely due to the increase in circulation to your feet. They said it's a very common experience, so don't be alarmed. But honestly, I'm not feeling that at all. I wasn't itchy at all. I was good. The booklet is not only well written and humorous, but very clear on ways to handle the machine with very clear safety tips. This device does heat up, so be careful when you're handling it at the end of your session after you unplug it and need to carry it to the storage area. They say not to throw other materials on top of it when it's not in use, also for the same reasons, because it heats up, and to keep it out of the reach of children because it's not a toy and we don't want them to get hurt accidentally. The manual that comes with the device says do not use outdoors or in a bathroom, anywhere it can be splashed on with water. And please don't use this in a room where aerosol sprays or oxygen is being administered. There's no reason to feel pain while using the Belmont Foot Massager, so if you're trying it out and you are feeling pain, stop using it immediately and please consult your doctor. Well, in consideration of my first try with this experience, that I've been dealing with insomnia for months, that I was able to fall asleep soon after using the foot massager, I would say hopefully that this is a great activity to add to a nightly sleep readiness routine. We'll definitely be using this product again, as mentioned, over the next week. And I will follow up with you one more time by the end of the week before ending this taped episode so that I can tell you whether my opinions have changed. So I've done a little investigating for you, and you can find the Belmont Foot Massager on Amazon for about $150 plus taxes, and depending on, you may or may not get free shipping. Here's a follow-up. So I was able to stave off the ankle swelling before going to bed at night. However, after a couple hours of sleep, I did wake up to ankle swelling a couple more times this week. This is not the machine's fault, of course. This is my own pre-existing medical condition, but not every night. And this machine focuses on the bottoms of the feet. It does not treat the ankle area. I did attempt to use the machine out of curiosity on my feet while the ankles were swollen. It did not add any pain, and I noticed that the dimpling or denting or the bluing of the inner foot was not a symptom that I was experiencing after using the foot massager, but the swelling of the ankles was not diminished. So if you do suffer from conditions where this is part of your symptoms, the foot massager is not a fix for the swelling of the ankles. But I just wanted to add that in there because it's just something I know about myself, and I was curious to see if there might be any change. I was able to be comfortable enough in my feet to go for walks, and the increased water consumption and exercise was more helpful to me than worrying about the other symptoms. Still, I do feel by adding the foot massager to my bedtime routine, I'd say 20 to 30 minutes before laying down, and followed by a short walk before I got into bed, it absolutely did improve my chances of falling asleep, at least for a couple of hours. For an insomniac, that's actually a precious amount of time. In addition, I can say that after a few days, I also found that when I woke up, my head was much less foggy. Whether it's the sleep itself that caused this change, or the fact that the foot massager is helping to make me feel relaxed and help me to have a better falling asleep pattern that was more consistent than it had been before, I'd say this product is a win. If you get a chance to put a foot massage into your nightly routine, in whichever way you can achieve it, I hope you get a really good night's sleep. Sweet dreams and soul. I'll see you out there.